Base Maldini then. So we've got the left back, 88 rated. Obviously he's got a mid that is 92 and also a prime that's 94. And I'm interested to know who's the best one. Is the left back actually a hidden gem in this game? Do you play him at left back? Do you play him at right back? Or is he a centre back? It's going to be something we're going to be looking at in this video, so stay tuned. We're going to start off looking at the description of him, his attributes, and obviously his traits, and then work our way through to kind of give a good comparison between the two that we have right now. We have the base out, and we also have the mid, and I am well aware that anybody that did the base icon upgrade may have actually been very lucky enough to get this card. To be honest, he's coming in at 434 at the moment. He's about 439, 440 at this moment in time in terms of Xbox price. Obviously FUT been a little bit delayed with that, and he is a left back in his base version. Obviously mid, prime and moments are all centre backs, and they are probably one of the best centre backs on the game at the very minimum until either team of the year or team of the season, and even then I don't know what it is with Maldini, just everything works really well. So in terms of his left back then, we've got 6'1", medium high. He is a 2-star skills, 4-star weak foot, nearly said free. And then let's have a look. So trait-wise, unfortunately, we've got nothing. And I think that is the same throughout, I can imagine anyway. And then we look at the stats. So just a little quick comparison between the centre-back and obviously the left-back. We are losing 5 pace when going to a centre-back, gaining 5 defending, 3 physical, as well as dribbling, 1 shooting and 2 shooting and 1 passing. So we are really just losing the pace and gaining obviously everything else. And I think as somebody said in the comments, I do apologize for not remembering the name, but he'll know who he is because I said I was going to do it today. The animations or the body type is changed for the left back, and that's what interests me because he isn't a left-footed left back, which again it is okay, but I think he's got the 4-star weak foot, which is quite nice, so he may be able to play there. We are going to play him as a left back to start with, as personally I already know the centre back role and I can tell you how he plays in comparison because we know roughly what he can do. In terms of obviously his stats then, what are we looking at? We've got relatively good pace, to be honest. 87 is definitely nothing to squander at. In terms of composure, we've got 88, which is great. Good reactions. Agility balance is not fantastic for a left back, so it may be that he does have to be kind of turned into a centre back instead, but obviously in this game it's not really a great idea to put a left back in the centre back role to start with. You are probably better off switching in game tactics, so you're better to have a centre back that should be left back, or vice versa, a right back, left back, all of that good stuff. Defending looks absolutely fantastic. Strength could definitely do with a bit of work, and obviously stamina is 85, which I think is good enough. But what this guy has done is he has put a shadow on him, so I personally would have 100% gone for the anchor. I think the shadow's great for like the pace increase, but it gets it up to 97. I just don't think you need it that much. It would turn him into a 91 rated left back, but what I think the anchor would do would just balance out the whole stats. We still get 92 pace, which is still fantastic for a left back. We get 97 defending rather than 98. Again, still fantastic. And then we also get the nice increase of an 89 strength and a 71 aggression, as well as 92 jumping. So I think I'm going to personally change him to an anchor anyway, and we're going to do that right now. So obviously if I did have him with loyalty, he would get plus 10 or at least 10 chemistry, and then obviously he'd have plus 5 on the pace rather than 4. But we can see the defending stats and obviously the physicals go up. Again, if you had 10, you'd get a plus 10 on the strength rather than an 8. So that is just something to have a look at. Let's jump into Maldini. CV's worth 430k. Looking for that Maldini down the side. I'm very interested to see what this card can actually do because I've literally never used his base. We've used his prime, his moments, and also his mid from this year. But in terms of kind of base, we've just never really had chance. And he scored. What? I didn't even think that was Maldini. Well, that answers the question, really. Right place, right time. It's an interesting one to see if Maldini actually should be as a left back. He doesn't feel right, obviously, because I'm so used to his mid, his base, mid, his prime, but he seems like he fits in quite well and definitely feels more agile than definitely the mid. Let's whip a ball in. Obviously, he's got his 4-star weak foot, and it is solid. First game in, he's got an assist and a goal. The guy is absolutely on form. Maldini, as ever, has got a wonderful, wonderful challenge on himself. Maldini is going to stand Mahrez, or at least try to. It just feels weird having a 6'1" left back. Normally they're just a little bit smaller than that, and especially Maldini's centre back orientated does get absolutely turned by Conte there. Oh wow, I didn't miss that one at all. And Maldini out. You can kind of just get the little bit of flashback from obviously his centre back cards. Definitely got the tackle on him, the strength, just the right position at the right time. Naturally is a very, very good card. Let's see him down the wing this time. He does seem like he could actually not necessarily be a more efficient left wing back, but definitely isn't terrible at going up and down a wing, which you really wouldn't expect from a Maldini. It would be interesting to see kind of some older clips from him. Absolutely nailed there. Find him down the wing though. Walker's going to be on pursuit. We definitely know we cannot outpace him. That is going to be the downfall of him, is he doesn't have that much pace. Maldini, beautiful. Doesn't necessarily manage to completely move it, but that is a block and a half. That is just absolutely fantastic from him. Definitely impressing me as a left back, but unfortunately passing wise, not necessarily a strong point, is it? See, this is where Maldini might struggle in terms of Mahrez, kind of the dribbling side of it. A winger is definitely going to have better than a kind of left back, so it's going to be interesting to see if a centre back would just be better suited. Maldini away, love it. I think for me, Maldini's definitely done a role in this. It's interesting because I think as a left back, again, I do prefer his centre back card, and that is just a natural fact. His centre back as a mid is fantastic, but I would say his base really took me by surprise in terms of what he actually does. I'm really impressed with how he plays, how he kind of performs, and overall just a very nice card. Again, a good name and just good player overall. And he just stopped so many tackles. Obviously he was on the corner. I feel like he's naturally just went onto the corner even though he's right footed, and he's managed to stop that, managed the breakaway. It's just naturally what he's very good at. We see him here. Oh, he's not going to be able to get Lukaku, which I think is on Koulibaly more than anything there. Oh, how has he kept that in? Stunning work. Maldini making strides forward here. Going to pass it in, and Conte's a DM of gods, really. So if we're looking at between this Maldini then, so he's coming in at 443 on the Xbox, 495 on the PlayStation, and 500 on the PC. And to be honest, I was pleasantly surprised. I do think centre-back is still a very good position for him, but I'm trying to think of kind of already special cards or cards that could play well better as a left-back than a centre-back. And I think if we do quickly go into the database just to see if we can kind of spot any, because obviously Virgil's still a gold there, and obviously they've got to be somewhat semi-decent at the very least. I think Alaba, I suppose, could go left back, but I'm trying to think of where you're really kind of linking this team together. I think once we get something like shapeshifters, that is definitely going to be something that we really can kind of notice that big difference from. There's nobody that really screams out, bar from maybe Alaba, just because he was a left back, that really kind of, I'm thinking, yes, he needs to be left back. But in terms of this card, I think he did a stand-up job. I personally don't like a right footer at left back, but again, he has got the 4-star weak foot, which is always a great help. Plus then whacking the anchor on him, he's got a very well balanced defending card. Obviously the composure's there, reactions are there. Agility balance a little bit low, and that's something I did notice against really strong dribblers. For instance, the first match or second match was against Mahrez, and you could see a kind of turn really put Maldini on the back foot, and that as a centre-back is a little bit more different. You can kind of almost afford that because you're already jockeying back. As a left-back, you're out on the wing, you're trying to tackle him, and you're trying not to let him through on goal, and sometimes that is what naturally happens. His defending is still better than ever, obviously being 97 with the anchor on him. He's just incredible at tackling. His defensive ability, I think, throughout the cards, judging from this one, and knowing what the mid and the prime are capable of, is that he is incredible in his tackling. Strength-wise was much better. I think the anchor definitely needs to be. Obviously, we bought him, and he had a striker on it, a shadow on him, so I think the anchor is definitely needed to get that extra physicality. Otherwise, I just think it's far too low, only having 79 on him, especially even if some of the wingers don't have necessarily the most strength, you want to make sure he has an abundance of it. Passing wise was no problem, managed to get a goal and assist, so I think for me he did pretty well. I really can't complain too heavily with him. I think 400k is definitely not a bad price, and obviously he carries a name. You've got a Maldini in your squad. Yes, it may not be the mid or the prime, but you've still got a Maldini regardless. And if you did come here for instance, the base icon upgrade, then you have had a good dub for you. Unfortunately, we got an Italian, but wasn't quite as good as this. So overall for me, Maldini's going to come in. I'm going to say a solid 9.5. I don't quite think he's a 10 as a left back. Definitely still a 10 as a centre back. I still stand by it. I think he can play centre back if you find the right card to switch him with. But overall for me, 9.5, fantastic card. I think if it's going in ranking order in terms of cards, moments, prime, mid, base. Pretty much a standard one with Maldini. Make sure you do like and subscribe. That's it all for the next one. Peace. Also, I'm going to put 2 icons on the cover right now. Go click.